What's going on, YouTube family? Back with another video. If you're new to the channel, all I do is talk about God and how to get closer to Him. And I'll read it straight from the passage. I don't go left. I don't go right. I go from the passage to you. And if you follow what I read already, pass it to the next person. Share this video with somebody who needs to hear it. You know what I mean? Because that's what the whole goal is for all of us, YouTube family, to make it into the kingdom of God, right? If you don't know, I don't water or cut no grass. I don't trim no bushes. All I am. Today's passage, what it's going to be about is trusting in the Lord, right? Passage, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 7. Bear with me. If you're new to the channel, reading ain't my strong suit. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Just follow along. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. If your Bible ain't out, you're already behind. Trust in the Lord with all, not part, not half, all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Be not wise in thine eyes, fear the Lord and depart from evil. Right? I already got two scriptures for y'all, but we're gonna just you know what it is. We're gonna break it down real quick. So verse 5, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding. Because what's going on now is, now we go to the next scripture. Where is it at? Give me 1 second. We're going to find it. Jeremiah 17. Where you at? Okay, there we go. 17 verse 9. I apologize. I don't be planning this thing. I really don't be planning. I really just be hopping. I literally sit down, put my camera on this tripod, turn on the light, and that's it. So verse 9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart and try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing. So in other words, like on verse 5 said, trust in the Lord and lean not on your own understanding. What's going on is, what verse is that? I think it's like Collision, chapter 3, you got to read the whole chapter 3. But it's saying that our goal should be making it to the kingdom of heaven. If that's not your goal, then God know your heart. You know what I'm saying? So you can't lean onto your own understanding, because our heart is deceitful, and wicked, desperately, as you heard in Jeremiah. It is desperately wicked. In other words, everything that is righteous, everything that God has planned for us, our body don't want it. Our body want to do what we want to do and what we think is right. If we think it feels good, we gonna try to finagle our way in to God's kingdom. And he said, if you come in through the back door, you just like a thief. So what's going on now is, if you read a passage and he's telling you to live one way and do one thing, and you're like, oh, I don't know about all that. Like, because when I do it like that, it seems like I'd be more unhappy and this and that and this. You're not more unhappy. I'm here to tell you that you're not more unhappy. Your heart is deceiving you. Your heart wants you to do what it wants you to do. Our flesh wants to sin. So what we have to do is we have to stay in fasting and prayer. We have to get closer to God, Because if not, we're going to try to lean on our own understanding, which is going to lead us to hell. Because what else do your body want? I can tell you right now, when I wasn't following God, there was nothing good that my body wanted. There was nothing good. So what the passage is trying to say is, if you think that something in the Bible, and you read it and you say, man, I don't know, that can't be right, get a second opinion. Don't go on your own understanding. If everybody says the same thing, most likely, they're right. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if, like, I used to smoke so much, I mean, like 5, 6, 7 blunts a day, right? And it just used to be consecutive. As soon as I wake up, smoking. I'll brush my teeth, smoke. Eat, smoke. Sleep, no, I ain't going to sleep. I gotta smoke first. And what happened was, I would get high and be convincing myself that, oh, I can read the word better when I'm high. Oh, I'm able to focus and I'm able to, but in reality, that's just my heart leading me down the wrong path because it wants me to continue doing sin. Like when I talk to some gentlemen, they say like, one wife, we ain't supposed to just have one wife, because now why they don't think that, I don't know. I really don't know. They say man nature, but I'm trying to figure out where y'all even get that from. Because women have high sex drive just like men do. But yet when women sleep around, we call them whores. But when men sleep around, we don't call them whores. And we say because we penetrate, oh, they give it to us. You still a whore. You still sleeping. You still choosing to sleep with all these women. Even if she chose you to sleep with, you still had to make the decision to sleep with her. So it's still you still consenting to sinning. So if you read that passage, you'll be like, oh, I ain't got to follow that. We can do whatever we want sexually. Then you lost. Your heart is desperate. Man, I'm gonna read that again because it took me a while to find it. It took me like probably like a good 10, 15 seconds to find it, but it's right here now. The heart is desperate. Let me see if I can get that in the camera. Desperately wicked. Desperate. You ever met something desperate? Have you ever trapped a rat in a corner? You know what I'm saying? People don't understand what desperate mean. Desperate. Like, when it say your heart is desperately wicked, that means it will try to do anything. I remember when I told myself and I made that commitment, I ain't gonna masturbate no more. Because I always thought it was weird. I'm like, if you just think of the concept, I ain't gonna explain it to you, but if you think of the concept, like you really just touching yourself and watching other people, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of perverted. Y'all don't, like, to me, I mean, everybody got their own opinion. To me, that's perverted. Because you're watching other people interact with things and you're touching yourself. That's a pervert. That's how I stopped. I stopped because I had that mindset of, what am I doing? I'm watching other people do this, and like I'm getting my rocks hard. Like it don't even make sense. I ain't about to do this no more, and I cut it off. Right, my heart would lie to me until I'll wake up thinking about doing something with a female. I'll wake up thinking about going in the restroom and doing anything. But see, what happened is, once you get that understanding that I don't want nothing but God, my goal is to make it to heaven. Everybody want to talk about the end of times, but they're not doing anything to prepare themselves for the end of times, because you shouldn't be afraid of the end of times, because you should be already ready for the end of times. Because again, as I always say in almost all my videos, your car can get pulled right now. Somebody could have just died while watching this video. So you got to get your heart right now, because your heart is desperate. It is so desperate. It'll tell you anything. It'll make you believe anything. It'll make you believe anything. I promise. And it'll make you want to sin. And that's why he tell you, no, don't do that. And then in the next verse it say, I, the Lord, search the heart. In other words, you can lie to yourself and you can lie to other people telling them that you want the Lord and you want the kingdom of heaven, but the Lord search your heart. You wonder why your prayers ain't getting answered? Why are you praying? What are you praying for? Because if you praying for a new wife and you already was married and got a divorce, you're asking God to help you commit adultery. He's not going to do that. If you asking for that, look at his car. Lord, I want a car like his. God don't want you coveting over other. First off, he don't even care if you look. These prosperity preachers got y'all twisted. God don't care about your money. Give 10% to your church. Don't go around saying give 10% to your church and make sure your church is a good church. Because devil tried to choke me. He tried to take me out. I felt it on my neck. He trying to stop me. Make sure it's the right church. You feel me? Make sure where you going is the right church. If your pastor is telling you the more you give, the more God going. He not there lying. I tell anybody, if you go to a church, go to the church at least for 4 sermons. If that pastor say anything about God gonna give you anything, leave immediately. Immediately leave, because they're lying to you and they're deceiving you. God not gonna do it. I'm not saying he won't give you like material. Of course God can give you riches. Of course God can give you things. I, the Lord, search the heart and try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing. And like they say, I think I saw it. Did I see it? Nah, it ain't on here. It ain't on here. But y'all know the saying, a good tree make good fruit, a bad tree make bad fruit. A bad tree can't make good fruit, but a good tree can become bad. You see what I'm saying? So you have to make sure your heart in the right place, because if you asking God for something and God looking at you like, more money? For what? For what? What do you need more money for? Oh, so I can do this, so I can do that. Man, I remember hearing this woman talk about she want more money so she can spend more time with her kids. You don't need money to spend time with your kids. Maybe when you get home, instead of spending time on the internet, you should spend time with your children. You should spend time with your kids. Don't blame the money, because see what God does, he try the heart. I don't know what Bible you guys have, but in the book of Joshua, he tries the heart, right? Abraham and Isaac, yeah. When he had to sacrifice Isaac, yeah, he was trying the heart. So what happened was, long story short, real quick, Isaac was bragging to his brother. What's his name? I'm gonna just skip that part. He was bragging to his brother about, if the Lord told my dad to sacrifice me, I'll do it with joy. And they say the Lord heard this and was found of it. So he made it so. You got to be careful of what you asking for, because you don't know what you asking for. I remember before I got married my first time. Yeah, and I only got married one time. So when I got married, before I got married, I was already asking God for a good, virtuous woman. But I was an evil man. How can you ask for something and you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know, and God tried me. He gave me somebody that I could have spent my life with. Nope, I threw that away. And now that I threw that away, not only did I corrupt my own heart, how I treated her corrupted her heart. So now she's not even the same person that I met. So what you do affects other people down the line, and we just ignore that and we just act like it don't exist. So then after I got rid of her, man, I'm like, Lord, she was too much drama. I want somebody calm, cool, and collect. Somebody who ain't about that, you know what I'm saying? The Lord searched the heart and try the reins. He gave me somebody calm, cool, and collect. And I ain't like it. I didn't like how nonchalant she was. You'll express something, she ain't care. You'll say something, she don't care. Something happen, she don't care. So I'm like, man, forget that. So then I pray again, Lord, please give me a woman that's more up. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody live. I want somebody that's lit. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to be, sinful with, basically. And if you don't think God gonna give you that, I'm gonna read it again. Even to every man according to his ways. When I was asking God this, I was smoking like big blunts, ounces. I was drinking. I'm out here listening to Lil Durk, Young Boy. I'm out here, man, look, I'm out here not living right. And according to the fruit of his doing. And since I wasn't living right and I'm asking God for somebody lit, you know what he did? He gave me somebody lit. And she was on nothing but demon time. Every day, all day, 24/7. Attitude was what? She was I wouldn't even say kind of loyal. She wasn't even loyal. But I stuck with that. Why? Because I had a damaged heart, and that's what I asked for. And God gave me exactly what I was asking for. Thank the Lord I didn't pursue any further, because once I saw how wicked it was, I just, look, if you're in a relationship and it don't feel right, look, I hate when somebody say, Dex, you're not even in a relationship anymore. How can you tell somebody how a relationship should go? You ain't got to be in a relationship to know how you should be treated. If you see somebody being mistreated, you don't have to be in a relationship to be like, man, that's wrong. No, you can be single and look at a relationship and be like, man, that's wrong. Because I guarantee you, single people look at women or men, because men get beat. Men get beat. They just found a man locked in his closet because his girl was possessive and she didn't want him leaving the house. So she was locking him in the closet, locking this man in the closet. So you see that, and what you gonna say? Oh, I ain't gonna say nothing because I'm not in a relationship. Maybe that's how it's supposed to. No, you gonna say, what is that? Because you don't have to be in something to know if something is right or wrong. You don't have to be in a gang to know that going to kill somebody over a color or heritage is wrong. What do people be thinking about when they be coming up with these excuses? I'll let you know. Desperately wicked. See, y'all think, oh, love is love. Love ain't love. You better stop lying to yourself. Your heart is deceiving you. Your heart is desperately wicked. And once it gets attached to a sin, try and get rid. Ask any alcoholic, ask anybody who's been in relationships that they want to leave, but they can't leave. And they trying to figure out like, man, I want to leave, but they will always bring up some type of reason. Unless they married. I mean, once you get married, then that's your fault. As long as it's your first wife, because every other thing after that is just adultery. Like the Bible clearly say everything after that is adultery. You and them. So I was committed adultery even though I was being faithful, and to me that's the most wildest thing ever. Even though I was faithful, I was still cheating. But even vice versa, it is same for her. Why? Because the heart is desperately wicked. Even though I knew that verse, I know what the Bible has said. I don't want nobody getting nothing twisted. I know that the Bible said don't remarry. I knew that. I was still telling people they can remarry. I was trying to remarry. Why? Because I was telling myself, why would God want me to be alone? God wouldn't want me to be alone. He made Eve for Adam. Yeah, and that's all he made for Adam was Eve. That was it. It was nothing else. So to try to make another excuse, I had my Eve, and instead of treating my Eve how I should have treated my Eve, being a true man, reading the Bible, you know what I'm saying, being loyal and faithful to her, you know what I'm saying, doing things a man's supposed to do, taking control of my household. I wasn't doing that. I was still in my childish ways, trying to play games and hee ha ha. And I'll try to blame my age. Oh, I was young. Oh, I wasn't saved. Oh, that marriage didn't count. We didn't even go to a church to get married. It was at court. God don't care. You made that vow, because even at the court vow, you had made a vow to God. You didn't say nothing to the judge. You didn't make the vow to the judge. You made the vow to God. So regardless of where or how you got married, regardless of if you were saved or not, and regardless of your age, once you make that commitment, till death do you part. That's real. That's in the Bible. So where we at? So that was 5, right? Lean not to your own understanding. Why? Desperate. Right. You're right. Come on, let's do it again. Lean not on your own understanding, because my heart is what? Desperate to do evil. Your heart want to do evil desperately. That means it'll do anything. You ever met a desperate man? Like I said, you ever met a rat that's been trapped in a corner? Yeah, they get desperate. So number 6, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So in other words, don't depend on your heart, because your heart is desperate and it want to do evil. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So in other words, if you want your path to be directed correctly, put your feelings to the side. God don't care about your feelings. I know your pastor lying to you, telling you how much he care. He don't care about your feelings. He care about his will. You don't matter. I know that's a rough thing to swallow. He don't care about your feelings. If he cared about your feelings, he would have just said, do as thou will. Like my book. I don't know if y'all heard. If I made a Bible, it'd just be gold plated with diamonds and saffrons and rubies everywhere. The one page will be gold plated. The outside be platinum. You know what I'm saying? Platinum, real platinum, titanium. You know what I'm saying? Scratch proof. You can't even scratch it up with the most expensive diamonds, with the best engraving, and it'll have one page. It'll be pure gold, pure. I mean, not none of that 99.9. I mean, 100% gold. And in the middle of that one page, and right in the middle, it'll say, "Do as thou will." In other words, don't listen to what you want, because God don't care what you want. It's all about his will. He'll lead your path. Yeah, it'll hurt. You don't think I want love? Man, I hate when people, I'll be at the gym and the dude be like, man, look at her. I can't. Because if I look at her, I'm a lust. I know I'm a lust. What, you don't have self-control? I have self-control. But even Jesus said, if thine eye offend thee, you might as well pluck it out. You might as well go. You would rather go to heaven with one missing eye instead of going to hell with both of your eyes. So why would I even I'm not even going to tempt myself and look at her and be like, man, oh yeah, I'll do. Like, nope. I'd rather just focus. Got to remain focused on the goal. I ain't focused on my business, because if I focus so much on YouTube and put all my effort in YouTube, and when I get off YouTube, go and start working on my business, and then once I'm on my business, just, oh yeah, oh God, lead the way. No, because I'm be too focused on my business. I ain't gonna be trying to focus on God leading the way, because what if God didn't want me to have the business in the first place? Most of y'all got businesses that contradict God's word in the first place. Heaven is our goal, YouTube family. Heaven, God's kingdom, that's it. What is in his will is what we should follow. Now, am I saying having a business is wrong? No. As long as it's in God's will, as long as you letting God lead the path. But if you ain't letting God lead the path, then you headed to destruction. Cool. So we're gonna go through 5 again. Why shouldn't we lean on our own understanding? Desperate. You desperate. You desperate. Most of y'all desperate. I guarantee you some people didn't even want to make it through the whole video. Why? Because their heart is so desperately wicked that they would rather go find another video like Todd or Chris or them other younger, cool, hip, making you feel good. Like, no, God ain't about that making you feel nothing. He wants you to follow his will, and he'll lead your path. He'll supply all your needs. But if you don't want God to supply your needs, then you go do what you want to do, and he gonna give you to your fruits. A bad tree ain't gonna get good fruit. Just letting you know that. So we're gonna go to 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. That's the hardest thing that we all have. None of us really I fear God. But before this, again, I was asking him for an adulterous relationship. I was on my knees praying, telling God I don't want to be alone. Send me a new wife. I'm asking God, Lord, I don't want to be alone. Let me commit adultery. That's what I was doing, because that's what you're doing. God not going to do that. It's against his will. So when I'm looking for women, I'm looking for something that I wanted. And when I find it, it's not what I really wanted. Now I'm unhappy. And now I'm going to take it out on them. Now I feel some type of way towards them because what? I picked you. God didn't send you. I picked you. God could have sent the first one. I threw that present away. It had scratches on it. And I didn't think I could buff them out. So I figured I might as well go find a different toy. Not knowing I could have just buffed those scratches out and kept it pushing, but nope. Do not be wise in thine eyes. Why? This the same thing. This the same thing as number 5. And the Bible wants us to make sure this, and I want y'all to listen close. And then I'm done. I'm done. Look, I close it. I close it. I know I'm repetitive. You ain't gotta tell me. I'm repetitive because I want you to hear and understand. I close it. Look, it's right there. Don't be wise in thine own eyes. Why? Because your heart is wicked. You're a wicked individual. We all are wicked individuals. Our heart is desperately wanting us to do things that is against God's will, things that will make us feel good. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get it, you have to get it. Open your heart. Open your heart. He don't want you to have more money. He wants you broke. Don't listen to these pastors saying if you give more money and you do more of charity and do more of this, God gonna double your blessings. No, he ain't. Who said that? Who said that? Who, where? He not gonna double up on anything because he said it's best to be poor on earth and then you can get your riches in the kingdom of heaven, because that's where your riches should be. What verse is that? Where it says, store your riches in the kingdom of heaven, because if you store them down here, it rust and fade away. So if you hear somebody telling you that the more you give, the more God gonna no, he could want you to be poor. He could know if you have money, your heart is so wicked that it's gonna make you turn away from him. It's gonna make you do things that is against his will. Me, I had my chance. I had my wife. If I wanted my wife now, hey, I could probably most likely fight for her. But to be 100% honest, I'd rather just be single. You know what I'm saying? And that's my choice, because in the Bible it tells you some man, where is that at? What, I think it's like, I don't remember where, but it talks about how man were Enoch. If you don't know what that is, that means like circumcised or without a sexual drive. Some men were born like that. Some men were made like that by other men. Like if you had to guard the queen and the princess, they would like you so you don't go and do anything with her. And some men just restrain from it, period. Like it said, it also said that. Why? Because they want to make it to the kingdom of heaven. And that's me. I ain't got to, look, I used to have to tell myself, like, why would God want me to be alone? He don't want me alone. I got him. And the only reason I'm looking for a relationship is so I can have, like, I'll be real with you, YouTube family. I was only looking for a relationship because I didn't want to masturbate. I wanted to have sex. But I didn't want to just like be out here whoremongering. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to have a wife, you know what I'm saying, the white picket fence, 40 acres of land, my own field, you know what I'm saying? But that was my own heart making me believe that God don't want me to be alone. But it ain't about me being alone. It's about where am I going? It said he knows your heart. So in other words, why do I want a new wife? Because I want to have sex. And that's 100% honest. Don't get me wrong, I do want to love her. I do want to love my wife. But the main reason if I thought about a wife was because of the love and having sex. But it's not even the fact that I am so desperately wicked to have sex and commit adultery against God lets me know that that's my heart deceiving me, making me want to do these things. I ain't want to do it. Most people in the hood think that they have to live the way that they live, rob, steal, and all. Like, you don't got to. Your heart is lying to you, telling you, oh, it's your environment. So you telling me everybody that grew up in your environment, all your neighbors, everybody on your block, everybody in your neighborhood and in your street, just hoodlums, stealing and robbing. No, you're lying. That's a lie. Your heart is desperately wicked and it's lying to you, telling you that you gotta do this. You gotta listen to your favorite rapper. You wanna be cool, don't you? Look, your rapper get these women. Don't you want the women like your rappers? No. No, you don't. You don't. You don't want these rappers' women. You don't want these women that's so quick to run to these rappers for money. That's like when I go on YouTube and I see these weirdos with like Corvettes and Lamborghinis and stuff, and like they'll try to holler at a girl and she'll say no, and they'll try to use their car to persuade her. I think that's lame. I think you're a weirdo because you're trying to persuade her with something you have. Duh. If you pull up to me with a Lamborghini, I want to drive. I want to be in there too. What you talking about? If you said, hey man, you know the direction here or there, and I'd be like, what the heck, who is this? And I just like brush you off, and then I see you walk into a Lamborghini, I'm running back to you too. Hey bro, you said TJ Maxx. Oh yeah, no. So what you want? Nah, matter of fact, let me ride with you. I'm gonna ride with you. I can show you better than I can tell you. Like, what are you talking about? Oh well, you just got a groupie mindset. No. You just wasn't interesting at first. Now that I see you have something I'm interested in, now we can talk. If you walking around with Louis and Gucci and Versace and oh, look at how I'm dressed, and you already lost my interest. Because when I was in high school, I used to see people with Gucci belts and Jordans and cool grays and all that cool stuff. Yeah, that's nice and all. Bapes and at the bus stop. And I ain't talking like yellow bus, I mean Metro bus. Am I saying anything wrong with the Metro bus? 100% yes. If you spending 3, 4, 5, 6 a band on clothes, you spending all this money on clothes and not a car. Something wrong with the Metro. You on it, so something wrong with it because you spending all this money to impress people when you could have a vehicle. Your heart is so wicked that it is fooling you to think that your $300 pair of shoes is way more important than a $300 down payment on a little car that you probably like, oh nah, that ain't no cool car, that ain't no BMW, that ain't no Mercedes or Audi. Man, I learned this from all the females that I be around, they don't care. They don't. If you got a whip, especially in high school, if you got a whip, they don't care what type. You could be a Honda, Toyota, Fiat. You got to ride. You can go place to place. They don't care about what type, as long as it can get from point A to point B without worries. So that's all I got for y'all. Remember, we all heathens. Remember, all of our hearts are desperately wicked. Desperate. That means like begging. Your heart is begging you to go against God. I want you to remember that. Anytime you say, yeah, I know the Bible say this, but as soon as you say but, your heart is kicking in. You became a goat to God. You're not a sheep anymore. Now you butting. If you don't know, that's what goats do. They butt, with their head. But God, but. Ain't no buts. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In other words, what he want is what he want. He ain't gonna change it for you. He ain't gonna compromise for you. You and your feelings are irrelevant. His will be done. So if his will is for you to be alone, who are you to argue with him? If his will is for you to be poor, who are you to argue with him? You just have to rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord that he even gave you anything. Rejoice that he even shined his light on you. I'd be happy when I can at least feel his grace. Y'all don't understand, because sometimes my heart gets so desperate that it will make... I didn't make a video yesterday. You know why? Because my heart became so... I was fighting demons yesterday. I want y'all to know this. I was fighting demons yesterday. I wanted to make a video that has so much hate in it, but God didn't let me. He just didn't let me, because the heart is deceitful. It wants you to go against everything God is saying. It is begging you. It's begging you. You poor? You want more money? Your heart would beg you to go do something that is out of God's will. You ain't gotta believe me. It's in a book. Look, and if anybody get mad at me, you're not mad at me. That's why I like doing this. I tell anybody, I rejoice reading the Bible. Why? Because if somebody come at me and charge me up, you ain't mad at me. You mad at God. Hey, I will rather, and this is not a figure of speech, I would rather eliminate an entire ant, fire, or bullet ant bed with my bare hands from the top to wherever their crevices is until they're all gone, piece by, and I mean, I would rather kill them one by one as they are going up my arm. I would rather do that than go against God. I would rather do that than let my heart deceive me again. Because see, you won't receive any. You talk about getting money. You ain't gonna receive a blessing at all if you're going against God. If you're going against God, what are you gonna do? He gonna look at you like, what do you want? Imagine going to somebody's house imagine somebody coming in your house. You tell them the rules, take your shoes off, hang your coat up, I don't know, and like whatever. You tell them the rules of your house and they come in and they understand the rules, but they don't feel like those rules are like applying to them because they're like a special case. No. It applies to you, your mom, everybody who come in my house have to follow my rules. If you want to make it to the kingdom of heaven, God's will has to be done. And I'm gonna stop ranting to you. I just really want y'all to understand that how desperate our hearts is to do wicked. So catch y'all on the next video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you made it this far, say yay. If you didn't make it this far, you ain't gonna say yay because you didn't make it this far. Or amen, not yay. You can actually say amen. And comment what you liked, what you didn't like, what you agree or disagree with. I respond, or I will try to respond to every message as long as it's reasonable. Sometimes I'll read a message or a comment and it just don't make sense to my brain. My brain can't even comprehend what they said, so I just like it and then move on. But if you have a genuine question, if you have a genuine question or genuine comment about what you like or dislike or approve or disapprove, go ahead, comment it. I'm all about it. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video.